Hi, today we're going to walk through Do and Charge billing within the Trak platform. Lots and lots of Trak customers do not quote jobs. They have an hourly rate that they agree to at the start of the job, and they will then just bill that job based on the hours and the materials and the expenses that have been added to that job. Now, this can be used in a few different ways. For smaller maintenance businesses, you might just go to a job, complete the works, add your expenses and details, and then just bill the job at a later stage or even when you're on site. For some other businesses, like our large carpentry businesses or some of our kind of larger building businesses, you may be doing do and charge billing and doing it monthly, so through a date range. I'm going to walk you through both of those items today and show you how that works. For those businesses that have got a lot of complexity around the hourly rate works they do, so you might have different rates for different times. You might have different rates for different types of jobs or different customers. You might have different equipment rates or minimum charges or different details that you want to pull through into the platform. If you are that type of business, I suggest you look at our day dockets feature, which will be much more beneficial for your more complex details, or if you require a signature on site and to create a report based on the hours that you have worked to confirm it. So looking at day dockets, as with most things that we do in Trak, starting out using a feature will usually start with us setting those defaults in our platform. And day dockets can be found, and do and charge can be found under our finance settings. So under your name, company settings, and finance settings, you've got this tab here called Do and Charge Settings. So in our do and charge settings, you've got some simple defaults here that help you present the end product to your customer and choose the costings that are going to pull through into the platform. So we've got our section descriptions. If you want to find out more information about little descriptions or options, you'll always see this little question mark that'll give you more details. Okay. You've got the ability here, when you click the do and charge button, suck all the information in, you can automatically create an approved quote that you just press the invoice button on. If you're very confident with your pricing and details, you're doing lots of small jobs, this is a great option. Okay. If you are a larger business that's doing date range, you might want to add or remove things. You might want to tinker with it a little bit at the kind of review stage. I suggest you select the unapproved box. It's up to you. Now, we walk down through some simple details here. With our timesheets, do we want to include all timesheets by default? Do we want to change the description from labor to, time on site, fully qualified, certified labor person, whatever it is that you want? You've then got your ability here to put a default rate in. Might be $100 an hour or something similar. You can choose in your timesheets or anywhere in this area whether or not you want to show one line that just says labor and it captures all the labor for that period and puts it on there. Or do you want to show each individual timesheet entry? So it'll say, Mark 27th of March, and it's going to have the hours on site with a time, and then it shows another line with Bob and his hours and so on and so forth. It is up to you to suit your business. Do you want a call-out fee? So if you want, you can have a call-out fee. You can put the value of that call-out fee in the system. And then from here, you can choose, is it added automatically, or do you want to just choose to add it when you are on the job? Okay. Material orders and expenses. Some businesses do not use material orders. They don't use purchase orders, so they don't need to pull them through automatically because they're not going to be there. But if you do, once again, you can choose this by default, and you can add a margin that you want to add to your materials and details. You can choose to show one line that just says expenses or materials on the job, and it just calculates it all and puts it in there, or you can show each individual material order overview. Then you've got your expenses. If you are adding expenses to the job, went to Bunnings, picked up some stuff for $40, went to the local plumbing supplier, Burdens, and picked up this, then you can add those expenses to the job. Once again, you can add them by default. You can show full breakdown, or you can add your margins. It's up to you how you present this to your customer. When you've set these, you can save it. The other item that is really important about our do and charge defaults and settings is that you can have rates against each user for this. So under your name, where your people are, you've got a list of all your users in the platform. When we are creating or editing a user, you will see these options here at the bottom. Now, the base rate, overtime, and double time rates, these are tied to your timesheet costs. But what we are talking about here is your billable rate. If you have some staff that are charged out at $50 an hour, others that are charged at 80, and some that are charged at 100, then use this billable rate to change the details of it. If you've got everyone just getting charged out at the same rate, feel free to just use the default from where we just set them up. Okay, so nice and easy in the way that that works. You can set them up and save them within the platform. Now, we're going to open up a job and have a look at a do and charge invoice on a job. Now, when I go into a job, I can see that this job has been going on. I can see there's bookings and scheduling and expenses and details and everything that are in this job. Now, in the system, I can see here that we've got some expenses in the job. I can see here that there's some timesheets that are in the job. Okay, fantastic. We've got expenses and we've got timesheets. Now, what I can do here, instead of having to go through, create a quote, put the expense amount on there, add some margins, put some timesheets on there, add some margins, write some details in, I can capture all this information, like our job description, our expenses, our details, and everything, just by selecting this do and charge button. So this do and charge button will pull through everything depending on what we've chosen to set up in the platform. Okay, so there's a couple of great things here for small businesses and larger businesses. So number one, if you want it to, it will pull through your job description. Number two, if you want it to, it can pull through your sub-job details as well. Okay, this is our default. We've chosen by default to have timesheets and expenses, but we are excluding material orders and purchase orders and also the status details here. Now, all we need to do is just follow through the prompts. When we go next, I can see here that we've got our hours. I can see that we've got our defaults here, and I'm adding a call out fee. I can change these defaults at any stage. If I press next again, I can see here that we've got an expense on this job, and I can manage that through into the system. When I go through to the next tab here, I can submit this. When you submit this in the system, it will automatically create a quote for you in the platform with your details. Okay, you can then edit the details of that. You can manage it. You might want to update your costings or pricings or materials, expenses or details. It's up to you how you do this. And at the bottom, you can invoice it. So nice and simple, it will pull through your items. Obviously from here as well, you might want to go into the job and grab some photos or files that have been uploaded into the system. It just sucks in all the information that you need. And then obviously if you choose to invoice it, it will invoice it, send it to your preferred accounting package if you've got it linked, or you can share it and manage it with your customer. Nice and easy in the way that that works. Do and charge allows you to really stay on top of all of those components in a job and making sure that everything that is on the job is covered, paid for, and managed. One thing that is worth noting with your do and charge, it is only as good as the data that you put in Trak. If you are not adding your expenses properly, if you are not putting your timesheets in properly, it will not add them into the system properly. So make sure that you put them in there so that it pulls through the way that you want them to. If you've got any questions or queries in regards to how do and charge might be able to work in your particular business, staying on top of the details, doing do and charge regular invoices monthly for larger projects, we're more than happy to have a discussion about how it might be able to suit your particular business. Please reach out to the team at contact@trak.co. Thank you.